One of the interesting parts about when the season finally kicks off is you go from very center focus, this is about us, the team, to, okay, how do we take all that and flip it to this opponent? How do you handle that mindset as a player?
Yeah, I think as a player, you finally get to kick somebody else, which is nice.
Yeah.
And for it to be one of the kind of, let's be honest, model franchises in this league that the league absolutely loves is good. And I think you go to their place. They're a team that's getting Joao Paulo, one of their most important players, back. They're coming off a season where they missed the playoffs. They still have the same core group of players, so you know what you're going to get from them. Their home fans are going to be rowdy and crazy like they always are. But I think the attention for the Rapids still needs to be on the Rapids, right? We kind of got the best of both worlds this offseason with keeping a core group of players as well, while bringing in some new faces that I think will have a big impact on this team. If you can take the crowd out of it early, I don't care if you foul them 20 times in the first 5 minutes. You really have to focus on the start of the game.
It's great. It's a good first test. What I like about it too is I think that you have to manage this idea of, okay, we have to be very solid defensively and we have to be disciplined in the way that we defend, because Seattle will come forward.
Can you give me a player on the roster that is going to surprise some people?
I think there's already like whisperings of this, but Darren Yappy. Okay, this kid is a presence. And I think there is a benefit to being a little bit green about not really knowing the league as well as some of the other players do. So you pop up in areas that maybe aren't so usual. You're a little bit unusual, and I think he's going to give that to this team with the ability of getting on the end of crosses. I'm going to go with Yappy. I think we're seeing a good year from him with a lot of goals.
I think this guy, and I certainly don't want to put too much pressure on him, but I think he has the capabilities and the abilities to have a breakout season this year. And
so we on the same page?
We're on the same page. All right, Jordan. Will Robin stick with the same formation throughout the season?
That's a good question, because he hasn't tended to stick to the same formation throughout a whole season. So I think that's one of the biggest things about the offseason is this team has gotten really deep, and they've brought in players who are going to challenge for starting minutes from the get-go. So I think when you look at this roster, could it be a 3-back at times? I think potentially. There are possibilities that it could. Could it look more like a 4-3-3 with a really solid depth in midfield? I think there's going to be some adaptation. And the key is to be flexible, because you can't go into every single game with the same game plan. You have to be willing to meet teams and present challenges to teams. And I think that this Rapids squad is going to be able to do that with the depth that they've created. We've got a very important question from one Austin Trusty.
I can only imagine.
You ready for this?
No, I don't think I am.
Who would win in a fight, a gorilla or a giraffe? I mean, I don't know why those two animals, but I think Austin has a great question for you, Drew.
All right. While a gorilla is probably more aggressive than a giraffe, I feel like a giraffe would just trample any animal or living thing it comes across that's not as big as...
I was not thinking you would go in that direction.
Well, what's
a gorilla, you take one stilt out of the giraffe and they're down.
Yeah, but then what are you going to do to it?
When?
He'll get back up, probably.
Put him in a sleeper hold?
Yeah, his neck is like 3 stories long. A sleeper hold. Where do you cut off the circulation?
I think this is to be continued. Great question.
It is a great question.
Gosh, Austin wow.
You tell us.
You tell us.